Are you kidding me right now? Bronson Reed just got absolutely embarrassed by Carmelo Hayes, and instead of showing any humility, any class whatsoever, this 300-pound wrecking ball has the audacity to issue threats. You heard that right, folks. The man who just tasted defeat is out here running his mouth like he's the one who walked out victorious. And what Reed said after that match is about to shake the entire WWE locker room to its core. But before we break down this absolute chaos, if you're as fired up about this as I am, smash the like button right now, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications because this situation is about to explode and you do not want to miss a single second of the fallout. Let's get into this. Monday Night Raw just delivered one of the most stunning upsets we've seen in months, people. Carmelo Hayes, yes, the same Carmelo Hayes that critics have been saying needs a big win to cement his main roster status, just handed Bronson Reed his first singles defeat in what feels like forever. And the way it happened? Absolutely beautiful. Hayes showed every single person why he was NXT champion, why he's called him, and why he belongs on the main event scene. The match was an absolute war from bell to bell. Reed came out like a freight train, like he always does, throwing that massive frame around, hitting those devastating splashes that have taken out legends. But Hayes? Hayes was different. He was calculated. He was patient. He waited for his moment, and when Reed went for the tsunami splash from the top rope, the same move that's ended careers and put superstars on the shelf for months, Hayes moved. He moved. And in that split second, everything changed. Hayes capitalized with a lightning-quick nothing but net, and the referee counted 1, 2, 3. The arena erupted. Commentary couldn't believe it. The WWE Universe was on their feet. Carmelo Hayes just defeated the unstoppable Bronson Reed. This is the kind of win that changes trajectories, that launches careers into the stratosphere. But here's where things get absolutely insane, and why you need to keep watching until the very end of this video because what happened next is going to have massive implications for the next few months of WWE programming. Instead of retreating to the back, licking his wounds, and regrouping like any normal superstar would after a devastating loss, Bronson Reed snatched a microphone from ringside. The crowd noise died down as everyone waited to hear what this angry, humiliated giant was about to say. And what came out of his mouth? Pure, unfiltered fury. Reed stared directly into the camera and said, and I quote, "You think this is over? You think one win makes you something special, Carmelo? I'm going to make you regret ever stepping in the ring with me. This isn't a setback, this is a warning to everyone in that locker room. I don't need victories to be dangerous. I don't need wins to be the most destructive force in WWE. Carmelo, you just painted a target on your back, and when I come for you, and I will come for you, there won't be any running, there won't be any escaping, and there definitely won't be any celebrating." Can you believe the nerve? Can you believe the absolute disrespect not just to Carmelo Hayes, but to the entire concept of competition itself? This man just lost cleanly in the middle of the ring, and he's acting like he's the one who should be feared. Comment down below right now and let me know, is Bronson Reed justified in his anger, or is this the most pathetic display of poor sportsmanship you've ever seen? But here's the thing that's making everyone in the WWE Universe talk, and why this situation is so much more dangerous than it appears on the surface. Bronson Reed isn't just blowing smoke here, people. This man has a history of backing up his words with absolutely brutal, career-threatening actions. Let's not forget what he did to Seth Rollins. Multiple tsunami splashes that put the visionary out of action. Let's not forget how he systematically destroyed everyone who's crossed his path. Reed doesn't play by the rules. He doesn't care about wins and losses in the traditional sense, he cares about sending messages. He cares about destruction. He cares about making examples out of people. And now Carmelo Hayes, who just had the biggest win of his main roster career, has to watch his back every single second because a 300-pound wrecking ball with an axe to grind has him in his sights. And let's talk about Carmelo Hayes for a second because this young man is in an incredibly precarious position right now. Yes, he got the win. Yes, he proved he belongs in the conversation with the top-tier talent. But at what cost? Carmelo now has to deal with a vengeful, embarrassed, angry Bronson Reed who has nothing to lose and everything to prove. Hayes cut a promo backstage after the match, and you could see it in his eyes. The victory was sweet, but the realization of what's coming was sobering. He said he's not afraid of Reed, that he'll face him anywhere, anytime. But should he be worried? Absolutely. This isn't about fear, this is about being smart. Reed has ended careers. Reed has put people on the shelf for months. Is one victory worth potentially having your career derailed before it truly takes off? But here's where this story gets even more intense, and this is something that's been buzzing on social media, something that insiders have been whispering about, something that could turn this from a personal rivalry into an all-out war that encompasses multiple superstars. Other wrestlers have started weighing in. R-Truth posted on social media that he thinks Reed needs to chill out and accept the L with some dignity. The Miz, never one to miss an opportunity to insert himself into drama, said on his social media that Reed's warning was the cry of a desperate man who knows his intimidation tactics are failing. And perhaps most significantly, Seth Rollins, the man who has every reason to want Bronson Reed to suffer, tweeted out a simple message: "Karma's a real thing, big man. Ask me how I know." The implications there are massive. Is Rollins suggesting he's going to get involved? Is he planning some kind of payback? Is he going to align with Carmelo Hayes to take down their common enemy? Let's put this in historical context for a second, because WWE has a long history of devastating defeats leading to even more dangerous versions of superstars. Remember when Kane lost matches and became the most unhinged version of himself? Remember when Randy Orton would snap after losses and the entire locker room would have to watch their backs? Remember when Brock Lesnar would lose and then come back even more destructive? Bronson Reed is cut from that same cloth. This is a man who doesn't process loss the way normal competitors do. He doesn't go back to the gym and train harder. He doesn't study film and work on his weaknesses. He channels that frustration, that anger, that rage into pure, physical destruction, and the most terrifying part? Reed is absolutely right about one thing in his warning: he doesn't need victories to be dangerous. His entire aura, his entire presence is built on the fact that at any moment, he can deliver a tsunami splash that changes everything. He can show up and destroy someone regardless of storylines, regardless of feuds, regardless of anything. Now, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here, because this situation has implications far beyond just Reed and Hayes. WWE is building toward major premium live events, and you know Adam Pearce and the Raw management team are sitting in their offices right now trying to figure out how to contain this situation before it spirals completely out of control. Do they book an immediate rematch? Do they try to keep Reed and Hayes separated? Do they lean into the chaos and let Reed rampage through the roster until Hayes has to step up and stop him? Every option has massive ramifications for the Raw roster. If Reed starts targeting Hayes' friends and allies, this could become an all-out faction war. If management tries to suppress Reed, he could turn his anger toward them, toward officials, toward anyone in his path. The WWE Universe is absolutely divided on this situation, and I want to hear from you. The comments on social media have been insane. Some fans are saying Carmelo Hayes is about to become a made man if he can survive Reed's revenge. Others are saying Hayes made the biggest mistake of his career by embarrassing someone as dangerous as Bronson Reed. And still others are saying this is exactly the kind of intense, personal storytelling that WWE has been missing. One fan tweeted, "Reed losing makes him more dangerous, not less. Carmelo better sleep with one eye open." Another said, "This is weak. Reed needs to take his loss like a professional and move on." And my personal favorite: if Carmelo can survive Reed's revenge tour, he's going to be a megastar. Who's right? Comment down below right now and let me know where you stand. Are you Team Carmelo or Team Reed? Do you think Hayes can handle what's coming, or is he about to get absolutely destroyed? So what happens next? That's the million-dollar question that everyone is asking. WWE has several directions they could go with this, and each one is more explosive than the last. Here are the possibilities that have been floating around, that insiders have been discussing, that could define Raw for the next several months. Possibility number 1: immediate rematch. Reed invokes his rematch clause, and we get Hayes vs. Reed Part 2, but this time with no rules, no disqualifications, and no mercy. Imagine these two in a street fight or a no-holds-barred match where Reed can unleash his full destructive potential without worrying about getting disqualified. Possibility number 2: Reed goes on an absolute rampage, taking out everyone in his path until Carmelo has to step up and stop him. This builds Hayes as the hero who's willing to put himself in harm's way to save his fellow superstars. This creates organic support from the locker room and could position Hayes as a top babyface. Possibility number 3, and this is the one that has me most intrigued: Seth Rollins gets involved, and we get a tag team situation. Rollins and Hayes versus Reed and whoever he might align with, maybe Ricochet if he's looking for a new direction, maybe someone from NXT who wants to make an impact. The possibilities are endless. But beyond the physical confrontations, beyond the matches and the beatdowns, there's a psychological warfare element to this that cannot be ignored. Bronson Reed is a master of mind games. His warning wasn't just about physical threats, it was about getting inside Carmelo Hayes' head. It was about making sure that every time Hayes walks through the curtain, every time he's in the ring, every time he's backstage, he's looking over his shoulder. That kind of psychological pressure can break people. We've seen it before. We've seen confident superstars become shells of themselves because they couldn't handle the mental aspect of dealing with a relentless, obsessed opponent. Can Carmelo Hayes handle that pressure? Can he stay focused on his career while knowing that at any moment, Reed could strike? This situation is explosive, it's unpredictable, and it's exactly why we love professional wrestling. This is the kind of storytelling, the kind of real emotion and intensity that separates good programming from great programming. Bronson Reed's bombshell warning has set the stage for what could be one of the most intense rivalries of the year, and we are here for every single second of it. If you've watched this far, you're a real one. Hit that like button if you're as hyped about this as I am. Subscribe to WWE Reporter because we're going to be covering every single development in this story as it unfolds. Drop your predictions in the comments. What do you think happens next? Does Carmelo survive Reed's revenge, or is he about to get absolutely demolished? This is just the beginning, folks. The warning has been issued, the battle lines have been drawn, and Raw is about to become a war zone. Don't miss a single moment. I'll see you in the next one.